Alright guys, Tina Book Tuesday, episode 152 with author Lisa Prysock. I am talking about Harry and the release of Spare, so you get 2 episodes. Alright, so if you didn't see it, go to YouTube and look up the Anderson Cooper interview for Harry. It is well worth your time. Without the commercials, it's only like 25 minutes long. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. I also watched the Netflix series. It was good. The interview with Anderson just went over really well. I feel like he did a better job at probing in his questions. Spare is set to release, and by the time you get this video, I'll have it on my Kindle. I'm definitely going to order the hardback. It's only $22 right now, whereas the Kindle is $17.99. And for $22.42, you get the hardback. I would not order it in paperback because this was written by one of the royals. The paperback's going for $34.20. The book is currently #1 in the categories of history, memoirs, and biography of royalty. And it was #5 this week on the Amazon charts all week long. So people are ordering it, even though there's a lot of people that are complaining about the interviews. Harry really opens up a lot. He did seem to backpedal a bit on the racism accusation made during the Oprah interview, which it was interpreted as racism, whereas Harry interprets the Oprah interview comments that Meghan made as just comments made by someone in the family about the color of the baby's skin. Well, and he says in the Andersons interview that he wouldn't consider anyone in his family racist. So I like that he's clarifying that a little bit more. And the rest of the interview was just really outstanding. He talked about how he found out about his mother's death from his father, and that his father didn't hug him, but he did rest a hand on his knee. And he called him darling boy, which was so sweet, and all that. And he talked about a physical fight with his brother that you may or may not have heard of yet. It was just absolutely shocking because it happened in like 2019, and his brother was shouting at him, and he was shouting back at his brother, and it got out of hand. And his brother pushed him, and he landed on his back and broke a necklace, and he landed on the dog bowl, which was glass, and he didn't realize it at the time, but it cut into his back and scratched him up pretty good. And Meghan Markle later noticed it and was like, what happened? And so that was just absolutely shocking that tensions got to that bad at their ages. Two grown men. I'm sure William's just devastated that Harry has shared that in the book. The book was accidentally leaked early, put on the shelves in Spain. So I don't know who did that or why, but I think this was in reference to hardback copies. There are some things in it that I'm really upset that he shared in the book that should have, I think, stayed private. Nonetheless, Harry has to learn how to live over here without any other money. And I think he just has had to hold his story in so long as a royal, since they have the never complain, never explain type of policy, that I think it's very healing for him to just finally come out with and tell all of his story. And especially since what he says is that his family was leaking stories to the British press, forcing him to go on the run, him and Meghan. And this is the first time he's really been clear with that statement, that it was coming, those leaks were coming directly from his family. In the Netflix documentary, it seems like he's blaming William and Kate's press secretary or someone on his press staff. But here in Anderson Cooper's interview, he makes it clear that members of his family leaked those things. As I've said before, in other posts about this, Harry is very hurt by their silence, that the palace hasn't spoken out to try to stop the harassment of the press. But hearing him talk about the loss of his mother, how he had to cope with it, him driving through the Paris tunnel at 65 miles an hour to experience what his mother felt like, and not shockingly at all, that he and William found holes in the ultimate decisions handed down about the case about his mother's death. And that for years, Harry wondered if she might still be alive, because there were so many holes in the story. If she might have used the incident to disappear, to finally have peace from the press. And especially when he talks about the photographers, I think it was maybe in the interview on ITV, he talks, it might have been the one with Anderson, where he's talking about the photographers taking pictures of his mother instead of helping her while she was laying there in the tunnel. Just hearing him talk about how he had to numb his pain through drug use and alcohol and things like that because of his mother's death, and how he just really hasn't had much closure with it, and how he wanted to reopen the case to have the findings examined more, and how he talked about walking behind the coffin and so forth when he was just so young. It was incredible. And also the way that he clarifies so much about this situation and how he's gotten where he is. And it does seem like, to viewers, that's an odd way for him to try to make restitution with his family. But I feel like he's reached a point where he couldn't find that, and he's not sure how he and Meghan will be able to live the lifestyle that they're accustomed to unless he goes with this Netflix deal in the book. Of course, those are the decisions they've made. And so a lot of people feel like he sold out his family. But he feels like they sold him out. And so maybe that's why he decided to go ahead with all this. And also how healing it must feel for him to finally tell his story after holding it in all these years. It must feel like a lot of relief. But anyways, I definitely ordered the book. And I feel sorry for him that it was leaked in Spain, and that so many reporters jumped on that early already. But his interviews have been good for the most part. And anyhow, I just want to share that with you, that I think it's going to take a lot of forgiveness and time for the family. But I do hope he does get an invitation to go to the coronation, but I don't know if he will at this point. And I hope that the family does talk about things and come to a resolution before then, in May, because the coronation is supposed to be in May. Whether they will or not, I don't know, but I'm going to be praying that they do. I hope you will too. Take care, everyone.